All right, here is your lesson on elements. All right, a little crash course on elements. Elements are found under the category of matter called pure substances. A pure substance cannot be physically broken down. And elements themselves are the building blocks of matter. What makes elements important is they are composed of only one type of atom. So all hydrogen atoms are going to look the same, but they're going to look different than oxygen atoms. All right, so elements have one atom. Where do we find elements? We find them on the periodic table. The periodic table was created in the late 1800s by a Russian chemist, a Russian scientist, and his name was Dmitry Mendeleev. So Dmitry Mendeleev is the guy who is credited with the structure of the periodic table. And so we have all these elements living on the periodic table, and how these elements get their names and their symbols. They can have a bunch of different types of symbols. You can have a single capital letter like carbon, or you can have a capital and a lowercase like cobalt. So elements will only have one capital letter. Okay. And these elements have gotten their names from a variety of places. So how elements get their names, sometimes elements get their names by the people that they are named after. So there are a bunch of people who have elements named in honor of them on the periodic table. One of them being Albert Einstein. Element number 99, ES, is Einsteinium. Two down from that is one named in honor of the periodic table guy, Dmitry Mendeleev. His element is Mendelevium. Right next to Mendelevium's on the very bottom row, we have an element named after the Nobel Prize guy, Alfred Nobel, and his is Nobelium. So one way that elements can get their names are people. The next way an element can get its name is a place. Maybe it's where it's discovered. Maybe there's a lot of this element present there. Maybe this is where the person who discovered it lived. So different places. Element number 32, Ge, germanium, founded in Germany. Down on the bottom left-hand corner, we have element 87, that's Fr, francium. And you can go, there's europium, there's californium, scandinavium, polonium, berkelium, gallium. So there are a ton of elements named after places. We have elements that are named after planets or gods. So some of those are also found on the bottom row. Going across the bottom row, the first element you come to is the Avenger element. This is thorium. We've got uranium, neptunium, plutonium, mercury. Right? So there are a ton of elements named after planets. And one of the last ways an element might get its name is by its Latin or Greek word root. And this is how elements sometimes end up with symbols that are unfamiliar to their name. For example, sodium, S-O-D-I-U-M. Why is it not S? Sodium is the element Na, which stands for natrium. Okay, so those are the different ways that an element can get its name. And that's where we're going to end this video.